as I get older, every time I read this passage of the gospel, it becomes even more disturbing because it's very, very real. And we can ask the question, so why did they behead John the Baptist? He said to Herod, here's the quote, "It's not lawful for you to have your brother's wife." That doesn't sound like a criticism. It doesn't sound like an insult. He's not using swear words. He's not insulting him. He's just making a statement of fact. Your wife is married to your brother Philip, so you can't be married to her. And that's all it took. And St. John the Baptist was supporting traditional marriage. One man, one woman, till death do you part. He spoke the truth. I don't think he was obnoxious or uncharitable, but he spoke the truth. And sometimes when you speak the truth, people get really annoyed and can be dangerous. I know as a priest, I've never found so much energetic pushback in my ministry than when I speak about what the church teaches about marriage. And sometimes when it gets personal, people simply get furious. They get enraged. I've never heard anyone get upset if I said, "You shall not steal." Okay. "You shall not lie." Okay. All right. "You honor your father and mother." Okay. "Go to Mass on Sunday." Okay. "Don't take the Lord's name." Okay. But you teach the sixth commandment about adultery and infidelity, people get really, really upset. So what's going on here? People don't usually kill somebody because of divorce or remarriage. I had an insight the other day, and that is Herodias was married to Philip. That's Caesarea Philippi. That's in the north. Or it's much less powerful than Jerusalem with the Herod she's living with now. And she doesn't want to go back to Philippi, into that small house out in the country milking cows. She likes to be in the palace. This is all speculation. I think she wanted him dead because she loved power and money. People don't usually kill for pleasure, but they will kill for money and power, right? So I think that might be what's going on here. Remember that scene in the Lord of the Rings where Bilbo is about to give up the ring, and then somebody tries to grab it, and then he turns into a rage? Remember that? Because the ring is a symbol of power and money, and he could not give it up. He couldn't give it up. It had a hold on him, and he has a rage. So I think that's kind of what's going on here. So I'm grateful that at Relevant Radio we are able to speak about these things clearly and charitably, because as marriage goes, so goes the church, and as the church goes, so goes society, right? There's so much at stake here. And yes, there is a great deal of confusion out there and rejection of God's teachings, which actually will bring us happiness. But I'm glad that on our shows we can speak the truth, especially on the 5 p.m. show, Marriage Unhindered, and on the 6 p.m. show, Trending with Timmery. We deal with these difficult subjects, but we need to talk about them. And I'm grateful that we live in a country where we do have freedom of speech and freedom of religion, and it is roundly defended by the Supreme Court of the United States. That's a great thing. So shame on us if we don't speak about these things. So what's going on here? Well, there's a lot going on here, and we need to ask our Lord for the grace to say things very clearly. And I found in my ministry as a priest that when I'm dealing with men, and I found this even before I was a priest, who are being tempted to be unfaithful, I found a very good phrase to use with them, a very good word, is say, "Are you out of your mind?" Somehow guys don't feel insulted when you say that. In fact, they kind of like that, Are you out of your mind? You're not saying you're a sinner that's terrible, it's just, are you out of, think about the consequences. Just think of that. And that usually, often that'll bring them to their senses. Are you out of your mind? And sometimes we have to say that to people, through our friendship, when they talk about it, just think about that. Think about the consequences for you, for your wife, for your children, your grandchildren, all the rest. And yes, marriage is a path to holiness, but it does bring with it sacrifices and renunciation. And over time, people grow in holiness and they imitate Christ. It's a beautiful thing to see.